Hello, today I'm going to read the book The Worst Band in the Universe by Graeme, a totally cosmic musical adventure. Graeme is an Australian author and illustrator, written many books, most notable for a book called Animalia. Also, he wrote a book called The 11th Hour, which is kind of a puzzle book as well. You have to listen to the clues in the story as well as pay attention to the pictures because a lot of the clues are hidden within the picture. Because of the length of this book, I'm actually going to read this in 4 different parts. So once you get through with part 1, you can click in the links in the description to get to the next part. Or if you're on the YouTube channel, you can just go to the next part from there. So The Worst Band in the Universe by Graeme. As you can see, he even created a whole galactic sector, as he called it, where all the planets are for this story. The story's got some pretty big words in it, so gotta have my glasses on to see. Blip. It was dusk at the Temple of Tunes. The entire Blippian tribe was gathered for the blessing of the Split Twangers. That's a guitar you're going to see in a moment. In the presence of the eldest one, her council, and the musical inquisitor, which we have to watch out for that guy. On planet Blip, beyond the stars, beyond the sun and moon, the world was ruled by music, but tradition called the tune. The ancient songs of ages past were all that could be heard, and no one was allowed to change a single note or word. To write a tune was heresy, to play it even worse, and anyone who improvised was scowled upon and cursed. For years untold the temple walls had rung to songs of yore, until the day a brave young Groob named Sprock rewrote the score. Sprock wasn't strong or worldly wise, just 13 standard years. But in his heart there surged a tune that conquered all his fears. He took his trusty split twanger, and though he knew 'twas wrong, he cranked the volume up to 10 and played a brand new song. As you can see, there's Sprock with his trusty split twanger, and you've got the Inquisitor there, our resident bad guy in the story. Now, what's interesting is this is a place that they're not allowed to create anything new. Can you imagine that? Living somewhere where you had to always do what was always the same forever and ever. You couldn't create new stuff, new ideas. The musical inquisitor was globulous with rage. "It's banishment for you," he snarled. "Remove him from the stage." A squad of prodmen scuttled up and grabbed Sprock by the scruff. But as they made to drag him off, a voice rang out, "Enough!" The eldest of the eldest ones, the wisest of the wise, rose slowly to her feet and studied Sprock with ancient eyes. "This lad is not a criminal," she finally declared. "His heart is true, just out of tune. I say he shall be spared." The crowd was in an uproar. The Inquisitor saw red. But judgment had been given. There was no more to be said. The Inquisitor was brought to heel a sharp humiliation. Repressive tyrants yet to score. Round 1 to innovation. When everyone had gone, the eldest one took Sprock aside. "My son, you have a special gift, but one that you must hide. Our world is not yet ready for the songs you wish to sing. Be patient, Sprock, for comes the day your music will take wing." A sudden pang of sadness seemed to cut her to the core. Another young and restless soul has trod this path before. A boy named Scat. He had the gift, a youngster just like you. If only he had waited, there was nothing I could do. You see the eldest one over here. Later that evening, Sprock found himself at Planet Blip Provincial Spaceport. That night, beneath a violet moon, our hero Sprock was blue. Although he had not been banished, life on Blip for him was through. He gazed up at the endless stars that wheeled above his head. "I've got to find a place where I can play my songs," he said. He thought of Scat, a troubled soul cast out from all he'd known. A martyr for his music, somewhere out there quite alone. Perhaps he found another home, another place and time. A world where innovation wasn't thought of as a crime. So to innovate, you're making something new. That's what the word innovation means. Just then, from far across the vale, he heard an ancient song, a tune he'd known since childhood. He began to sing along. But all at once, inside his head, he felt the music change. Unbidden, innovation had begun to rearrange. The harmony soared skyward as his heart took up the beat. Echoes of the universe, the rhythm of the street. The joy of making something new, the impulse to create. Sprock's music meant the world to him. Now it sealed his fate. At last he stopped and looked around and slowly shook his head. This planet's lost the plot, he sighed. Its spirit's cold and dead. There's more to playing music than the notes upon the page. I have to call the tune myself, or else forsake the stage. A space bus heading off the world was preparing to depart. Sprock climbed up to the entry hatch with sad and heavy heart. He turned and looked at Blip, his home. It struck a poignant chord, then took a deep, determined breath and boldly stepped aboard. So because his planet doesn't want to do anything new, he's kind of sad, so he's like, I gotta go somewhere, find something new to do. You know, I can't hold my talent back. So that's the end of part 1. And part 2, we will end up on the planet known as Squog. So once again, check the links in the description to get to the next parts. Thank you.